What's going on, Jeromes? It's a beautiful day. Birds are chirping stuff. It's time for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. Let's fire it up. First one up is Follow Your Light 420. OG Jerome, what offensive and defensive position is the most competitive? Will any vet have their spot taken by younger players? So, redirecting this question to which Vikings veterans are on the bubble, I think Ty Chandler and Brian Osama are there. Of course, the 2022 draft class, I know it's more infamoso, but with Chandler, I do feel like Xavier Scott is certainly interesting. Like he's a large running back, good receiving skills, and good pass protector, which Ty Chandler needs to work on. Right, defensively, Osama is already behind the eight ball. Kobe King's already running with the second team linebackers with Eric Wilson. We should probably update this one. So I think that Osama has probably got a foot out the door. I guess we'll see. Otherwise, I mean, some other spots, I mean, not particularly. I feel like everything else is pretty much straightforward, especially on offense. Defensively, I don't know. Like the defensive line is going to have a lot of rotation in it. We'll get to more on that later. So basically, I'd see those two will be the top two: Ty Chandler and Brian Osama. There you go. Number 2, Riley Jensen. Do you think Jones and Mason will be a better duo than AP and Chester Taylor back in the day? So, first year of Adrian Peterson. So this is why you go BPA. So Adrian Peterson, 7, drafted by the Vikings. Running back out of Oklahoma. And the Vikings had a 1,000-yard rusher the year before, 2006, in Chester Taylor, right? And they still drafted Adrian, and it was kind of a split between the two of them during the season. As you can see, 238 carries for Adrian, $157 for Chester. I mean, Chester Taylor still ran for 844 yards and 7 touchdowns with Adrian Peterson getting that work, right? And also leading the league in yards per game that season, 95.8. Now, I always thought that there was it was more like having two running backs versus them working together, if that makes sense, where it was almost two different offenses when they were in. Whereas with Mason and Aaron Jones, I feel like what Kevin O'Connell said. Like I feel like there's a lot of talent overlap between the two. Mason's a little bit more of a power back. Aaron Jones, one of the better receiving running backs in the game. So I think that could factor in where they're the same, but they're also complementary. Whereas I just didn't feel like Adrian and Chester meshed, and then Chester bounced after the season. I believe he went to the Ravens. Yeah, but overall, like, I mean, they're a nice duo, but they didn't really complement each other, if that makes sense. Next, Enclave World. I missed 4-game preseasons. Got to see more of the Rooster play starters, second and third string, mixing reps was cool, and I feel like it helped keep injuries down a little bit by giving the extra conditioning week not a question, just a thought I was having. And I feel like that's fair. Like 4 preseason games was good. And I was so pissed that the Vikings didn't get the Hall of Fame game nod because they would have had 4 preseason games versus the 3 now. But with the league and the next CBA in 2030, they're going to 18-game schedule, right? And what's going to happen is there will be 2 preseason games. So that's why joint practices are so important now. But the 4 preseason games, I get it. People are like, oh, paying full price and concessions and blah, 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 and season ticket holders got to have blah, 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 all that stuff. But, I mean, it's important for the guys in the middle and the bottom of the roster. It's really important to see how a player performs under the lights. Right, and practice is practice. Absolutely, it matters. But how does a player respond in a game situation? Does he rise on up? Right, that's always a major question. Frankly, I don't know if guys like Marcus Sherrills or guys like Adam Thielen make the team absent preseason games. Or guys like Audie Cole, who's a 7th-round pick, had 2 pick sixes in preseason. I don't know if that happens. Right, but it's a reality of the world. 18 regular season games, 2 preseason games, and they used to play 6 preseason games in the 14-game schedule days. That's wild. That's wild, man. That's crazy. But yeah, kind of miss it, but it's not coming back. There you go. Also, 4 preseason games. The Vikings had Mitch Leidner for a hot second. The pride of Lakeville South? One of the two. Maybe North. Don't know. Next. Hey, Andy, absolutely love the show. Thank you. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you. Which iron sharpens iron situation are you most looking forward to watching in padded practice? Cornerbacks versus receivers, linebackers, running backs, quarterbacks versus secondary, etc. Mine's our new interior offensive line, D-line going at making each other better. All the love from New Hampshire. That's right. The live free or die state. I love it. So I think he hit the nail on the head. The defensive line versus offensive line. Now, early on, the D-line, including the prodigious edge rushers of AVG, Grenard, Turner, are just eating up the offensive line, but they'll get better. Right? Reps are important, and they'll certainly get better out there. Plus, Darrisaw being back in the lab eventually will be good, but Jackson, Kelly, Fries, O'Neal, once Fries is back in 100%, it does make sense. Also, the second-team offensive line versus the second-team D-line. I mean, the second-team D-line for the Vikings, second-team pass rush is pretty effing good as well, right? So second team D-line, because depth is important, getting the full value competition every single day, it's good. Also, cornerbacks. So Rodgers, once he gets over his soreness, Okudah every day going up against Addison, that's a fun matchup to watch. Also guys like Nudie, McLaughlin, Tavier Thomas, no Jefferson, but Addison, Naylor, Rondale, Ty Felton, Lucky Jackson, all that stuff. Plus, that Addison's going full bore, right? Because he's got training camp, he's got preseason, probably facing a suspension, so he's getting his work in now. Absolutely doubling down there. So that's why I always felt okay with the Vikings cornerback room, is that overall, there's questions, sure, but there's some answers there. And also, they get to go up against this receiver group every single day. It's going to be good. Good question. Next, Jake Ham. What do you think it would take for Brian Flores to sign a multi-year extension? I think that would be a top priority list, but oddly overlooked because he still wants a head coaching gig. So, it doesn't matter the contract that he signs. A head coaching job would supersede this because you can't block a elevated move. You can block a lateral move, but elevation, sure. But I feel like with Flores, he knows his defense is going to be great, right? And he's going to have all the options in the world, and he wants to keep his options open, right? Because, the Vikings, could make him the highest paid coordinator in NFL history. That's fine. But what if he could get more? What if he get more control? What if he doesn't get a head coaching job? He deserves one, but what if he doesn't? Could he become the most coveted free agent defensive coordinator in league history? Yes. And would that pay a lot of cash? Sure. So I sort of, and also he could always just re-sign with the Vikings and still become the highest paid coordinator in NFL history and still have this great defense. So I understand what he's doing. It limits his options if he signs an extension now, so he's just keeping his options open. All right. So, head coach is always in play, but also jumping ship to another team as D coordinator could be in play too. So he's just using leverage. I don't blame him at all. I would love if he signed a multi-year extension here with the Vikings, so he got the deserved pay raise, especially this season. But we'll see how things play out. And I bet dollars to notes, how is Flores not going to get a head coaching job with the number one defense in the league? I just don't understand it. Don't understand that at all. Or how was his assistant room not rated? Don't get it. Anyways, that's it. That's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know to do. Skol, production value.